Tom Dunne. Tom Dunne on Newstalk.
Now, as promised, tonight we're talking to Dónal Lunny. Dónal is joining us now by the miracle of Zoom. It must be called the miracle of Zoom. Dónal, how are you today?
I'm grand and you're looking well.
Yeah, you haven't commented on my hair, which I'm delighted about.
No problem. Lockdown special, is it?
Very close to letting one of the children have a go at it, to be honest. So listen, tell me about this. It sounds great. I've only heard the one track, but it sounds great. Atlantic Arc, it's a new kind of collaboration for you.
The seed was planted several years ago, but we just simply haven't had a chance to get together, you know, and play, at least not enough, you know. However, anytime we do get together, lovely things happen. I think it's a great band, and there's somehow some kind of dynamic in the band that really works, not independently of us, but despite us. You know, so it's very interesting, and it's always a pleasure. You know,
how did it start? How did it come together?
Well, the Bowl Jody Ackland, who was like my agent for various different projects, and that came up with the notion of a sort of I suppose pan-Celtic is a term you could use, which is to say something which would musically link the Celtic countries, which is where the name came from. The name came from Atlantic Arc, and it refers to the Celtic countries from, you know, Skye right around over to Galicia via the Isle of Man, Cornwall, you know, and ourselves.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a good idea. We didn't, I suppose, if everything had gone ideally, there'd be somebody from each country. But it hasn't worked out that way, but it doesn't matter. The fact is that the spirit of Celtic music is alive and well in the band.
Right, and you can really trace it down along those Atlantic coasts, and you can really see a similarity in all of the local music. Yeah,
I have to say that like several years ago, I did some programs for RTE called Celtic Songlines, and it enabled me to visit all these countries in, you know, across the summer, or even shorter, in a couple of months. And it was a revelation to me how similar people are in each of the countries, you know, that it's really amazing. I realized that there is a sort of there are common characteristics, if you like, in the people of these countries. And yeah, it's sort of kind of...
Right. So it was 2016 when you got to play with them. And I have to say now, if you're noticing a chemistry, people would tend to put a lot of faith in your judgment on that, because you've been a good judge of chemistry before. So to have maintained it over that time, and you're still determined to do more with it, it's a very positive sign, isn't it?
Well, indeed, yeah, I agree. But I think we are all agreed that chemistry is the word that applies to, you know, a combination of people. There's always a chemistry in bands, and, you know, this one is no exception.
Right. It's quite a lot of people, isn't it?
It is. It's 9 people. And, you know, we did something a few years ago in Wales, in Cardiff. It was with some guest singers for an event celebrating the voice, you know, the Celtic voice, and we didn't have much time to prepare, but it went off uncannily well. It was actually, it all worked at short notice and with practically no rehearsal. Right. So it's like, wow.
That is something. I'm looking at the names. Aidan O'Rourke on fiddle, Sharon Howley on cello, Davy Ryan on drums, Ewan Vernal on bass, Graham Henderson on keyboards, Jarlath Henderson on vocals, guitars, pipes and whistles, getting good value out of him. Pádraig Ryan on, I can't see it, Constantine, is it? And the beautiful voice of Pauline Scanlon, which I'll play in a minute, on vocals, and Dónal, of course, on bouzouki and guitar. So with this now, I'm going to play the single in a minute or two. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I'll talk about that too. But you want to try and do an album, don't you? That's kind of the idea. And
that was the intention, yeah. And we're kind of at the tail end of a Kickstarter, which, you know, looked a bit shaky at the beginning, but it picked up and we actually got it across the line. But, you know, we have until, I think it's Saturday morning, I think it's 10:30 or something like that, it officially stops. There are various, if you like, bargains on offer from the band, which are still up for grabs. You know, things like having a tune written for you, etc. You know,
wow.
A lot of deals you can get from the band. You know, master classes, etc. And in return for support, the more the better. You know, given that we've actually sort of it has worked. Any improvement on that is going to help more. We'll have more time in the studio. You know?
So to be very clear now, if people want to help, there's still time until Saturday. It's just they just go to Kickstarter, do they? And look for Atlantic Arc.
That's it, I think, yeah. Or look up atlanticarcmusic.com.
Right, and you can get a tune written for you. I mean, I have to say, people listening to this might be approaching a significant anniversary or something, and get a tune written for their significant other. Yeah. That would be a pretty special gift, wouldn't it?
You said it. Well, you never thought about it yourself, Tom. Dunn's Frolics. No?
I'm not sure the direction that's going in. Rhymes and too much other stuff. Well, that's great. That's going to happen. So, by the sound of it, but I will plug it again, and hopefully you might get a double album. And when you collaborate with this, do you work on existing kind of airs and melodies, or do people write? Do people in the band write for this, or how does that work?
We write, and tunes. Project Lynn is writing tunes, and Aidan O'Rourke. So I think Graham is starting now. Keyboards Graham. And, you know, we're with songs, we're looking for traditional songs. We're looking at traditional songs. There are a few contemporaries there as well. You know, we haven't, if you like, finalized what we're going to do on the album. There are some, we've got the bulk of it, you know.
Okay.
There are other ones still in midair, you know, and we'll see what way they come down, you know.
Great.
I'm just going to move my phone for internet reasons. Hold on.
All right, you do that now. And I'll just...
It's better over there than it is here. Right.
Okay. The single I'm going to play now is My Son David. This is a dark murder ballad. Where did this come from? Correct,
yeah. Well, I don't know whether anybody would know exactly how old it is, but it really... harks back to biblical times, you know, and to a biblical story. It's like brothers, you know, and one brother killing another. It's what's known as a child ballad, because there was a very renowned collection of ballads made, which I think all of which can be found in countries right across Europe and in the Middle East, you know. Versions of songs. There are quite a few songs here in Ireland. Another one that I would think of is The Well Below the Valley, which is a biblical story, but it's to be found in another 20 countries in some form or other. And they go back. They're like musical archetypes nearly, you know what I mean? They go back so far people don't know. Yeah.
Right. Lankham doing a lot of work in that direction at the moment as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I love what they're at.
Yeah, they really are a beautiful thing. This is gorgeous too. So I'll ask you, are we getting any closer, do you think, to a live gig or getting out of lockdown?
Well, we're living in hope. But things are looking really good. But it's like the thing itself is very, very dangerous. And I think everybody has to keep that in mind and be respectful of it, you know, because... what's happening in India right now is unbelievable. It's the system has practically collapsed, and they thought they were out and clear 6 months ago, you know.
Yeah, no,
There's nothing happening over there.
it's really frightening. And dare I ask, have you had your jab? Are you on the other side?
I had the first of my 2 jabs, yeah, and
Fantastic.
the other one will be sometime within the next month, I hope.
Great.
You know, but
That brings great optimism, doesn't it?
that's right. Yeah, well, it is that. You know,
Yeah.
it felt like a relief to get it. You know, there's a lot of talk about it and a lot of negative stuff and doubts and theories about whatever. But I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah, nor do I. I'm getting mine on Tuesday, and I can't wait. I'll dance home after it.
Hey.
Don't listen. Pleasure talking to you as always, and hopefully, I'd love to see this now. You know, as I say, if you have faith in the chemistry, then I have faith in the chemistry. So, and so would anybody.
Deadly. Well, we've gigs planned in November, and in Wexford, in Ennis, in Carlow, and I suppose there'll be more details online. I'm terrible. I haven't got them in front of me.
Don't worry.
This is the case. I mean, like most of the rest of the musicians of the country, we've been planning tours, you know, a few months down the line, and they've all been postponed another few months, and then another few months, and then, you know.
Yeah.
So there are lots of other gigs which are, you know, just rolling along, and hopefully we will get to gig before the end of the year. That's all I can say.
God, it would mean so much to people to be back wherever, whether it's outdoors or whatever. But God, just see a bit of music and see a few people.
Yeah, I think the you know, like for both listeners and for musicians, we have a fresh appreciation of what happens at a gig.
Yeah.
You know, that exchange, it's lifeblood for me and for most musicians. And it's the way to, you know, encounter music. And love it.
Can't wait. Dónal, pleasure again. And look after yourself. And hope to see you in the studio or a venue or somewhere down the road.
Same as that.
Great
Mind
stuff.
yourself.
See you, Dónal. Bye now.